requires people to have a really understanding of how men cry, how men approach pain, to be able to recognize and say, hey, how are you doing?
Yeah.
How can I support you? Right.
Yeah.
And that takes a real lens to look out of, especially when we live in a society where we don't necessarily see men as people that actually have pain that doesn't go beyond anger and rage.
Cole, what up, man?
We here.
Listen, we back in the building, man. Yo, the struggle has been real, brother.
So real, man.
The struggle has been real. Look at you.
So
we
real.
just
I'm glad
just
to be
started. Listen, we just started, and you already freezing on us, man.
Listen, I don't know. I got a chance to get my broadband together, so it's real out here. So even if my face freezes, I'm still talking. So that's all that matters.
But this is the thing.
I won't fade to black. I'm not fading to black though. So,
but this is the thing. you got your beer game up, but your internet, bro. What's up with that?
Bro, listen, and I keep my brush faithfully. This is my faithful, boy. People, so I'm ready.
I understand you ready, but bro,
I ain't got there yet, bro. You gotta pad it out a little bit.
Oh my gosh, bro. Yo, mine is starting. Look, mine is. I wish I had my little brush. You ought to see it. It's coming, bro.
Okay.
It's coming. Yeah. You see how it's starting to rise up a little bit?
Yeah, don't cut that. Don't cut that. Just let how the barber just line that. That boy gonna grow in.
Bro, I don't know the last time I've been to the barber for him to touch this.
Man, listen. You don't need the barber. Just let it grow out. Get you a little shaver and shave it, line it up real quick.
So,
and that part that won't grow in that well, you could just get a little black marker and just you'll be good.
That was real disrespectful.
No, bro, I'm telling you.
You said the part that don't grow in. Did you just really say that the part that don't grow in?
Bro, I'm trying to tell you. People ask me how you get your beard like that. I'm like, I started out like that, man. I would just,
bro, that's genetics.
Darken it up a little shade.
Bro, that's genetics. That's genetics.
Bro. Okay. My daddy ain't got he don't have a full beard, bro. He does not. My granddaddy, my granddad did have a full beard.
See, don't try to act like, I've been
my granddad.
You must be trying to sell somebody's beard balm, or I've been using such and such beard balm.
Yo, so listen, if it's and I know it's a couple of people out here. There's a brother I follow on Instagram, and of course now I can't think of his name, man, but he follows us, and I feel real bad now. But I want to get him in because he has some beard oil for me, and he's in your area. So once I remember, we're gonna connect. We're gonna get him on.
Big Fish. Is he a big dude?
I don't think so. I've never met him in person, so no, I don't think so. But yeah, we're gonna get him on, and I'm gonna where's his product.
All right, well, that's what we got to do. That's what we got to do. So what's up, man? What's popping with you, baby?
Man, listen. So today, I really wanted to have an opportunity to really talk about some real important stuff. Am I freezing up again? God,
yeah, just keep on talking. I can hear you. Together. Even if you freeze, just keep talking. Just keep talking.
Oh, okay. I can just keep talking, even though I'm froze. Yeah, man, I wanted to talk a little bit about the idea of talking about why men don't ask for help. That's an important subject. We don't ask for help. Now, maybe I've been thinking about this too. Maybe that's old school men. Yeah. Maybe the old school men don't ask for help, but like this new age, everybody asking for help now. Maybe it's, you just talk to Google but I don't know. So I wanted to throw that out there.
I don't know.
I know I don't always ask for help, and I'm just getting to it. So maybe I'm part of that old school era where you don't ask for help. But there's a lot of people I know who not asking for help, man.
I don't know, Cole, because I don't know because, yo, I've been seeing a lot of dudes ask for help lately.
Okay, so people asking for help.
Yeah, I mean, and I mean, well, let me say this: they may not necessarily come out and like, "Yo, I need help," but when you ask them, "Do they need help?" I'm starting to see a response where they say, "Yes, I need help."
Okay.
Right?
So what I hear you saying is that what you're experiencing is that they'll say they'll will accept the help if you ask, but if you don't ask, then what happens?
They try to navigate it.
Okay.
They try to navigate it, but I still think that there are more men today asking for help than there's ever been, right? Because it's been safe, right? I mean, it's been safe, and I think a lot of times, especially as us as fatherhood practitioners and advocates, sometimes we can be guilty for throwing a lot of old school mentality or the old school cliches or behaviors into the now, whereas a lot of that is no longer like that, because I
Okay.
know I've been guilty of making blanket statements on how
Yep.
men are, but the more men I work with, some of those, and I'm talking about hood dudes, bro. Like, I mean,
Okay.
but you still, and the guys who still have some of those issues, they dealing with a lot of their own trauma, right?
Right.
Um, and so it's hard for them to ask for help. But I think as a whole, bro, I think a lot more, men are asking for help and asking for um, assistance. I mean, I think somebody said they think that's the name of his IG page. I think that's you know what's his name? His name. He doesn't have a name on here. He's a Facebook user.
Okay.
Ken is a Facebook user. See right here when
Okay.
we show him. So he need.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I assume that's him. So, but I
Okay.
think that's my thing, Cole. I think that's the thing, bro.
So let me ask you this: do you think men are asking for help in all areas of their lives? So are do you find that men are asking for help based on, like, let's say, resources? So like resources might be, just navigating your day in and day out needs versus like your medical support, you like medical help, seeking out medical help. So if I don't have any insurance, or do I ignore the pain that I've been carrying around? And maybe for me, I grow up and have been around old school, men to this day that still, will have I say a bum knee and need to go get the knee checked out, but no, I'm not. I got to go to work, or that you won't even deal with it. So they'll start fumbling with words like that, and I'm like, yeah, you might need to get that checked out. No, I'm not. I'll get to it. I'll get to it. Or ignoring pain. I heard you say something like, "Man, if I even sense something going on, I'm going to I'm going to see a doctor."
Oh,
Whereas
absolutely.
I don't know if everybody's still, if they're doing that, if they're recognizing, hey, if I have a medical feel something going on with my body, that I'll go see somebody, or if they even have the capacity to do that. Or in addition to, again, we circle back to mental health all of the time, and I just wonder, are men actually feeling safe enough in those spaces to really say, hey, I need some support,
I
especially if we got people that don't ask. You're asking.
yeah, I just think that some people today, man, that there are a lot of people that are very, very insensitive, right? Um, and people are so insulated. They are at a place where they trying to protect themselves. They trying to survive, right? And and some people, and so it's, I think it still makes it hard for some men to open up to say, yo, I need some help, because they may, they looking at it as a society, man, that sometimes like society can be, callous, right? And so it's just like, why do I make myself vulnerable and ask for help in a public place when I'm gonna be ridiculed,
Right.
right? Yeah, I mean, because we talked about we talked about Kanye a few weeks ago, and I stand on what I stated back then about how he is blowing up Kim's line and some of the things that he's
Right.
doing. But
Right.
at the same time, I do see where um, he's doing what he know how to do.
Right.
Right?
I
He's
agree.
doing what he know how to do to try to get involved in his children's life. So he's asking for help in the way that he know how to ask for help. Right?
That makes sense. That makes sense.
And the way we ask for help is different for everybody. You know, and so depending on what other trauma he's dealing with, he's like, yo, I'm getting this attention. He think in his mind that he's advocating for other fathers that are going through the same situation he's going through.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
thinks he's an advocate, right? And and the unfortunate thing, man, is that in some of the work that I do and go to these meetings, throw up the word deadbeat and all that. And sometimes the father who's out there grinding and taking care of business and working and helping and assisting his children going above and beyond, um, gets thrown in the same barrel with the ones who are not taking care of business.
Very true.
And so when you talking about, asking for help, sometime, they just like, yo, why when I'm just gonna be ridiculed and be looked at as the same as these other cats over here. I have a guy right now, man, honestly, bro, I can't discuss their case. It breaks my heart. I mean, where one parent is manipulating
Mm.
some people, um, manipulating the children in this case, and this dad is suffering,
Yeah.
right? Um, and it's heartbreaking because you can see where this person, this dad, is real, genuine. Grinding. Does he need some help with his skills? Absolutely, because I'm watching him.
Right.
He needs some
Right.
support with his parenting, right?
Right.
And we guide him. But the core of him is not what um, has been told. That story. And
Okay.
somebody like him, bro, he was like, "Yo, I gotta be honest, Sean. I haven't drank in years, and I suffered from, you know, some trauma." He said, "I drank all weekend as a result of this." And man, I'm like, "Yo, this is not good. If loving his children, and this is not the conversation, but my I guess
Right.
my question to you is, man, if loving or trying to love my children is causing me to harm myself, should I keep going after trying to establish a relationship?
Well, I would say one what what I think is really important is to recognize that whole idea of taking what's the core of that, right? The core of me going to drinking is the pain. So when I think about again, and this really aligns back to what we're talking about too, because it's really the pain of something that causes us not to be able to maybe express what we're naturally feeling. So we practice self-destructive behaviors that impact our health overall. So when a man is asking for help and he's needing support and he's not getting that, and it causes him a disruption emotionally, of course, what men and boys have been taught to do, especially one, you aren't taught to really ask for help and get that support. But what you are told and you often learn through processes, through your experiences with men or the media, is that you act out this self-destructively. So it might be what I've discovered is when I'm feeling hurt and pain, then I turn to alcohol. It might be that when I'm feeling hurt and pain, or I'm having experiences of chronic stress, then I turn to overeating, or I turn to smoking. You know what I'm saying? So I become self-destructive, and now I'm angry and I'm harming the environment and people around me, because of the not having the outlets to truly express hurt and pain in a real way. And you didn't fade it to black.
No, no, no. I'm back. I'm back. I did fade to
You
black,
know
but
what
I'm
I'm
back.
saying?
I'm black,
So
y'all.
I think it aligns right, back to that, man, because I think what I'm learning too is that our hurt and our pain, it does lead back to our health, especially if it's chronic stress, especially when we begin to unpack depression and we talk about anxiety. And we talk about the reality of that. Cardiovascular disease is like the one of the leading causes of death globally. Like I think it's like 17.3 million people have died a year from cardiovascular disease. And then you think about this. I think they've estimated that 23.6 million deaths will occur by 2030. And what's the leading cause of death for men? Heart disease. You know what I'm saying? So heart disease can be traced back to alcohol. It can be traced back to not eating well. It can be traced back to chronic stress. It can be traced back to this, anxiety and depression. And all of those lead to self-destructive behaviors that ultimately impact the heart. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? So when we're talking about this, I think it really is what I love what I hear you saying too is that we're also recognizing that men are asking for, well, no, they may not be necessarily always asking for help, but it requires people to have a really understanding of how men cry, how men approach pain, to be able to recognize and say, hey, how are you doing?
yeah,
How can I support you? Right.
yeah,
And that takes a real lens to look out of, especially when we live in a society where we don't necessarily see men as people that actually have pain that doesn't go beyond anger and rage.
yeah,
So I hear that and I say, man, that brother first has to really do an assessment, and really find some real other coping strategies that can support him. But man,
See, but
he
this,
cannot give up. He can't give up though.
and that's the thing, right? And that has been our conversation, right? You know, and I'm not gonna say it's easy, but it's kind of easy for me because I'm on the other side of it, right? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because I know what we are working towards. So I'm trying to encourage him, right?
Right.
But then I had to, when he walked away, I had to put myself in his shoes and be empathetic and be real. So though giving up is not an option, but I'm like, if I was in his situation, I could see how he would consider that as an option.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's like
His back against the wall.
his back is against the wall. But this is the thing, is that there are so many accusations and they have been unfounded.
Right.
And he's still being and I don't care if this was male or female. I'm just saying
Right.
this just happens to be the other parent. I don't care if the
Right.
dude was doing it to the mother, but I'm just saying this one parent, like, so he's just like, yo, I'm trying, but the kids don't see me like I'm their father because of the poison of the other party. And it's like when I'm around my children, I feel this disconnect. And it's just like no matter how hard I try, man, the poison keeps going.
Yeah.
And I've been trying for
Yeah.
years. And it's like this hurts.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. And so we are supporting, encouraging the whole nine, but I'm just like, um, it's important, because the person around, the people around them, they just like, yo, kick rocks. You know what I mean? Just walk away. And I'm like, bro, you can't do that. Um,
Yeah.
but we are one of the first places where he was able to really express this pain and this trauma that he had. Like, dude been adopted, right? And that was another thing. The person, he's been adopted, don't know his parents, right? So it's just like rejection there, then rejection from his children, and my man just like, yo, I don't know how to do this.
So Bashan, y'all doing it right, because here's what you provided for him. At first, he was in isolation. You just said he landed in your space, and for the first time, he was able to express himself. He's been able to express it out loud, without judgment, without being shamed. Right? I think isolation is part of the problem. And when people do find spaces where they can connect and it's judge free and they can be safe in those spaces, then that in itself can be enough to continue the fight. I think the issue becomes when I'm shut in and shut out, and everybody is pointing a finger at me and shaming me, that it really becomes I have to fight my way out, and that might mean giving up. But you just said something profound. You created a space where he could go to express himself, and that is enough to move people forward, and I see that happening so much in my work with parents, of course, too, is that they meet each other and they discover that, wait, what? I'm not alone. No, you're not. You're not the only one. And
I
here's
want
some
to.
shared experiences that we've all had. And together collectively, no, we cannot fix this because this isn't going to be something that could just be fixed in 2.5 days or 2.5 seconds. But what can happen is that you can come here and get that shared support that oftentimes I think so many kids say, what I wish could happen is that somebody was there for me, if somebody would just support me. And I
Yeah,
think that is enough, man. That's sometimes enough to move people through some of that tough stuff.
I want to speak to Aurelio where he said, or you speak to it. He said, as hard as the struggle can be in the fight to wanting to be able to be there for my son, I cannot give up. That is what the other parent may be hoping for, right? Let me finish that. For hoping for to be able to say that the trying father is a deadbeat dad. Yo, bro, I definitely get it.
That's good.
I mean that is real, right? That
That's
is
real.
real. And and the thing about it, man, Aurelio, I want to speak to that is that because of the space that I'm in now, working, in the supervised visitation and all that, I see now that it's done on both sides.
Yeah, yeah,
Unfortunately, right? Because I
yeah.
always, my only experience has been, dads being victimized and, it's not right, the whole nine. But I'm seeing to where fathers who have more influence, more money, more connections is using that against the other parent, right?
Yeah.
Where the other parent doesn't have as much resources or support, and that parent is, victimized, right?
Yeah.
They're being looked at as a deadbeat and all that type of stuff. So I think this thing is, as we focus on fathers, but I think the thing about it is that we have to be careful because parents can be extremely mean when they jaded and they hurt. You know what I mean? They just like, yo, I gotta get back at you. And they use the child as a pawn, right? And we know uh that a lot of times it happens more often, to dads than moms. But man, I'm seeing where some of these moms is being drugged through the ringer, and I'm like, yo, are you serious? But I have to be objective, right? I'm there to do a job and to create this space for healing, but it just breaks my heart sometime, man, just to see that. And I see why so many people do give up or get caught up in stuff, right? Is because they don't have support. They don't have people in their corner talking them off the ledge, right? They don't have people talking off the ledge and helping them navigate, that space, man. So you're right, brother. I mean, there's no give up there. You can't, right? Because that child needs you. So I know you can't give up, man. So kudos to you, bro, for not giving up and keeping on fighting, bro. For real.
Yeah, absolutely. Parenting, boy,
No, for
it's so
real.
human.
It
Parenting is
is.
human. It's human.
Yeah, bro. It is, man. It is very human. It's very human. Living in this world is human, right?
Yeah.
It's when we start living in our silos and start disconnecting, because we are doing super, we doing super dope and we living our best life. But I tell people, man, life happens and life happens to us all, right? Tyson said everybody have a plan until you get hit in the mouth,
Yeah.
right? And that's the thing, man. As an adult, bruh, You know, you can have a plan all you want, but you better have something that's going to cause you to have some staying power,
Yeah.
right? And you're right, bro. He said, you know, the children need both parents. You absolutely correct. They need both parents. That's why I'm at. I was just talking
Yeah.
to my wife about it. I was like, man, you know, if we, you know, when we was going through our situation, I'm like, man, I don't know what I would have did if I couldn't see my children. You know, if you was just being mean and spiteful just because you was pissed at me. I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
our kids need both our parents. There's stuff that my children experience that I wouldn't be able to navigate if it was just me. I wouldn't be. I mean, put it this way: we navigate it. You know, what I mean, parents, they
You
single
good.
parents, they navigate it, but it's a lot more difficult when you navigate in that space by yourself.
Absolutely.
It's a lot more
And
difficult.
it is. And I think not only do children need both their parents, right, but they also need a village of people. So it's parenting, it's your village, it's all of those players that really help a child thrive. And I think that's one of the other things that we often have to center this all back to, you know, what is in the best interest of children. And that can be a hard question to answer when you're parenting in a very human, real way with human
Yeah,
feelings and human emotions. And
yeah,
so it does take a host of intentionality and taking assessments of yourself and really doing your own healing when it comes to your stuff that comes up and shows up when you're trying to parent, because it does show
that's
up.
real.
And I'm learning more. I learn more and more just as an older parent. Man, parenting was one of my most rewarding experiences, but it was probably one of my most challenging too, because it was so much I did not know and so much no one taught me. And I didn't have to take a class
Yeah,
on ages and stages and the brain development when my child was born. No one said, hey, you need to go through this process before you become, now that you're a dad, or even before you become a parent. These are the things that you need to understand and learn.
that's real
And I
talk.
think that's a thing that I think, how are we charged with raising humans? And that's the one thing you don't need a certification for.
Yep,
You
yep,
gotta be certified in everything except for when it's
yep,
time to have a child. And when you have a child, you don't get certification, or you told you have to do something related to parenting, and then that can be almost a slap and an insult depending on who's telling you,
yep,
right? But I look back on it and I was like, man, there's so much I could have learned and could have done had I been able to get the tools quite early on. So I'm really thankful to be on this show with you, man. But even more importantly, I'm really thankful for having the opportunities and experiences to be able to support fathers, and not only fathers in my work, but just parents across the board.
yeah,
Because I think, man, this is human, and I'm going to always say that now, is that parenting is human,
yeah,
and that there are a lot of errors that come along the way with that.
yeah.
But we have to keep children in the forefront. So
I love it, yo. So we at that segment, y'all. Don't go anywhere,
it is
right? So
time.
we at this segment that we want to hear what you guys have to say. Cole, you don't even know what I'm about to show you. So this is where I want y'all to chime in and let us know, is this dad legit or not legit on how he handled this situation. So I have this video, so check it out.
Here we go.
Of protecting daughter. Owner says the dog just wanted to protect their home from strangers.
Wait, what? Okay.
Middle Island, New York.
Wait, what was that?
I'm about to show you.
Hey, get out there, too.
Watch this footage of a man with his daughter taking a look at someone's pit bull dog. But the dog wasn't much welcoming and got triggered watching them.
Oh my God.
It escaped through the gate, scaring them both. The little girl started to scream while the dad ran away in fear. Thankfully, the owner saw it and came out to control her pet.
Well, one, I'm gonna need her to seal that up, seal that hole up in the gate.
Coward daddy got up on the car and
But the dad, bro. The
Yeah.
dad.
So,
The
listen,
dad, bro. The dad, bro. I need to know. I need to know. I need to know if dad was legit or not legit on how he handled that situation. This brother, you're
I
laughing.
probably could have watched this so I could have got this out. I'm not laughing.
Yo, listen, man. This brother.
Listen. So this is another thing we do. We expecting dad to be Superman.
Yo, I don't care what you say.
Listen, that brother got triggered. Y'all know how trauma work. That frontal cortex.
My man said, Aurelio said, my man gets a flat out F. He gets a F. Yo, he gets a F, and I agree. He gets. Listen, man. Look at this brother, man.
I would have threw her up
instead of protecting daughter.
Look at where he is. His daughter is screaming. He like, hey, get your dog. He's telling his daughter to run down the street. Look at that.
Owner says the dog just wanted to protect their home from strangers.
Come on, man. Come on, you can't justify this one, bro. You can't justify it.
Listen, you know what I'm trying to do, Sean. I'm not trying to pass judgment.
Okay.
But I gotta believe that my man's first reaction should have been snatch my daughter up, we throw her on the car. Right?
Yes,
that should have been his first reaction. But somehow in his mind, that fear is flight. That man said, "Listen, you go that way."
No, he didn't even say that. He didn't say that until after the fact, bro. Bro, he jumped on the car and the dog was chasing the daughter. So he's still trying to get away. And then the lady came out. Then he says, baby, run that way. So he's on the car. He's safe. And the daughter running around the car.
He out of pocket. Yeah.
Way out of pocket.
They got to take his card.
So was dad legit or not? So was dad legit or not legit?
No, he not legit, man. He not legit. You know, I try to justify it with trauma. You know, I always go to trauma first.
Nope. Aurelio said my man get a flat out F. I agree. Flat out F. My man was just like, hey, babe, you on your own. I hope to see you tonight. I hope you make it. And that was a pit, bruh. He's like, I hope you make it. I hope you make it. I love you. I hope you make it. I love you. You wrong.
Turn this off. We done.
Yo, my man, like, I hope you make it, and he out, man. Yo, somebody. All right, I'm gonna leave it alone. Aurelio, you already said it. My man get a flat out F. He should have threw the girl in the car.
He should have, man.
He should have. So that's my legit or not legit this week. So yo, in closing, man, listen. I encourage the fellas out there, man, to seek help, get help. Don't be afraid, man. Get help, bro. That's I just say that's the new sexy, man. That's the new sexy, getting help.
It really is, man. And I think for me, I'll just say it's okay not to be Superman. You know, sometimes being the desire to be Superman can actually be kryptonite. So it's okay to not be Superman.
Like your internet. like your internet. Your internet is your kryptonite, dog. Y'all be killing you.
This is recorded. You can't. Sean, this how we do?
I'm sorry. Yo, laughter is good for the soul, man. All right, man. Love you guys.
And on that note,
See y'all next week, man.
you don't like when I dropped them jewels. That Superman jewel, that was the jewel, bro.
Yeah, that was sweet. That's super.
bro.
I'm sorry. Let's do it again. All right, do it again. Do your close.
No, bro, it's dead.
No. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. You got to do over.
No, man, I'm good.
No, go ahead.
I'm
Do
good.
it. Yo, you don't have to
just
be Superman.
Just my luck, my internet go out. Nope, we good. We good.
No, we can't close on that. Go ahead. Tell them they can't be Superman.
It's gone, Sean.
Okay.
It's gone.
All right.
Have a good night, everybody.
Superman out. Kryptonite out.